How good is your main at rage baiting? If you've watched our last video, you'd understand that we're basically experts on rage baiting. And if this video manages to get a solid 1,000 likes, I'll make sure the next video is all about the most unloved creature known to man, called Wolverine. And before you greasy Wolverine mains get upset and start typing in the comments, just know the weight limit for your standard keyboard is around 22 pounds. So maybe take those meaty mitts somewhere else. I'm projecting. Also, one last thing, I'm making an alt account so I can learn DPS, because if you've tuned into any of my streams, yeah, it's pretty awful to watch. But I need a name, and the most liked comment on this video will decide what that account name would be. Okay, bye. Adam Warlock. Y'all are too busy aura farming to rage bait. The only time I've ever felt anger towards an Adam is when I get that human torch down to 1 HP just for you to hit me with your haha now he's full health button. I should be more upset, but he's just too cool to stay mad at. Black Panther. Y'all already know. Like, come on. You know you're annoying to play with and against. Your hate for support players is on a whole nother level. And as a tank main, I hate you for the fact that killing my supports shuts off my healing juice supply. Plus, I get to listen to them rage in chat as they ask for help. Yeah, man, let me lock in Fang real quick. Surely the enemy Punisher and Phoenix aren't going to spread me like butter across the pavement. 10 out of 10 rage bait. Black Widow. Just like BP, you live so that I must suffer. You've peaked at rage baiting, both on and off my team. We all know how it goes. Get a Black Widow on your team and they're going 1-3. But if they're on the enemy team, they become the Marvel Rivals equivalent of a Halo 2 legendary Jackal Sniper. Some ball knowledge acquired. 8 out of 10. Blade. Honestly, I feel like Blade is only rage-inducing whenever I play him. I don't know if it's just me, but I swear I block as much damage as I deal. Also, I keep underestimating how much damage his shotgun deals at a certain range. I'll be chilling at half health thinking I'm fine, just waiting for heals, only to get sniped by, well, Wesley Snipes. 2 out of 10. Captain America. I don't really know if I feel angry towards Cap or just sheer disappointment in my team when I see my 3 insta-lock DPS players somehow fail to kill a single jumpy boy who's been bouncing around on the payload for the past hour and a half. As far as rage baiting is concerned, kind of meh. 5 out of 10. Cloak and Dagger. Genuinely, I feel no anger towards you. You keep me alive, blind the enemy, or blind me if I'm your enemy. And let's be real, there's always a Cloak and Dagger in the game. You keep those heals up, you got this, I won't be angry. 0 out of 10. Doctor Strange. My main, my beloved, my glorious king. I swear, Strange's ult range is like 5 feet max whenever I play him. But the second he's on the enemy team, it's global. I never really get annoyed when fighting a Strange, but dear lord, I don't know how to describe the feeling of holding off the enemy team in overtime just for a portal to open up and surprise, surprise, it's round 2, bucko. 3 out of 10. Emma Frost. Top tier rage baiter. Please stop gripping me. Please don't. One of, if not the strongest tanks. Massive damage, smallish hitbox, and thick with 4 C's. Emma Frost is what happens if you fuse Strange, Magneto, and the Thing together, and then force-fed them Trin. She is so absurdly powerful, if she's not on your team, you better ban her. Otherwise, dear lord, send help. 7 out of 10. Groot. Groot is by far the most rage-inducing tank. Enemy Groot, excuse me, dear sir, are you wanting healing from your allies? Well, unfortunately for you, the area is currently under construction. We've got a Motel 6 that needs to be finished by November, and we're going to be building these walls regardless of who's stuck inside. Ally Groot? Yeah, sorry. See, there's this Motel 6 that really needs to be built by November. 14 out of 10. Hawkeye. See, now this is confusing. On one hand, the idea of getting one shot across the map drives me insane. But on the other hand, I think I've stumbled upon 4 total Hawkeyes that could actually headshot. So it's kind of like a coin toss if I'm going to be angry or not whenever I see this Green Arrow knockoff. 5 out of 10. Hela. I hate this character. Like, yeah, Hela's one of the strongest characters in the game, but she's so boring to play as. And god, if the enemy Hela can aim, then, like, just end the game. It was over before it began. Massive rage baiter really makes me act up with the new skin. 8 out of 10. Hulk. 0 rage bait. If I get stomped by a good Hulk player, then I consider it an honor. The only thing that makes me angry is having to actually play Hulk. Like, my monkey brain is too small to understand Hulk, but good God do I wish I could play him. Human Torch. A literal mosquito with a flamethrower. The amount of games I've played where someone complains to our DPS, you gotta deal with this torch, and then jump cut to a torch going 340 miles an hour, throwing it in a circle. Like, dude, how am I supposed to hit that? Also, I don't think I've ever died to a human torch ult, so I don't know if I'm just too good to die to it, or if I'm not good enough to be at a rank where I should die to it. Invisible Woman. I'd give you a solid 6 out of 10 on the rage bait scale. But if there's a ledge on the map, that gets bumped up all the way up to an 8 out of 10. You people start foaming at the mouth the second an enemy gets within booping distance. And to be honest, I can respect that. Also, did they nerf her ult when I wasn't looking? Because I swear I killed poor Susan every time she ults. Iron Fist. You have almost mastered rage baiting. So close to the peak, yet so far. You live so that others may suffer. Every time you lock in this character, my social credit score gets reduced. Y'all managed to elbow block a job application when you were busy blocking my ult. And please, could you please leave my poor supports alone? They need to live, so that I may also live. 9 out of 10. Iron Man. This comes from a special place in my heart. It's called Malice, and it's located right next to the right atrium. Since my buddy Jacob, aka the guy with the worst takes known to man, is an Iron Man player, I believe now would be a good time to air my grievances. I only have hate for you when I hear this.
Maximum pulse!
Because I know you just managed to miss a K-pop star dancing around on point. She was completely unshielded and unprotected. Nobody blocked it. You just whiffed. Sad face out of 10. Jefferson, Master Rage Baiter. The gluttonous little creature is the embodiment of anger. I'll be having a rough day, hop on a quick game of Rivals, and watch my entire backline get swallowed by the demon of hunger. And to make matters worse, whenever I want to be the silly little guy and play Jeff, there's always that one dude on my team that says, actually, Jeff is rated D tier in most professional tier lists. Well, did you know that it only takes about 100 pounds of force to fracture your skull, and boy howdy is this Wii remote in my hand looking awfully throwable. 12 out of 10 Rage Baiter. Loki. Playing Loki like a normal, sane person in society, 0 out of 10 on the Rage Bait scale, you're doing God's work. Playing Flank Loki, aka Floki, 30 out of 10. Because you'll be playing your daily game of support just to get picked off early, and then have to make the slow and painful walk back to point, only to then be jumped by 3 of the same guy. You know how confusing that police port's gonna be? Like, officer, I swear, I was just minding my business, then out of nowhere, a guy wearing nothing but a jacket and a Speedo jumped me by 3 of him. Luna Snow. 12,000 out of 13. Magik. If you're on the enemy team, 9 out of 10. If you're on my team, 20 out of 10. Y'all do not know how to stay alive. You'll be 15 zip codes away and still have the audacity to ping for heals. Like, no man, I'm out of gas. You gotta come to me. Magneto. 0 out of 10. Seriously. I don't think I've ever seen someone get upset at Magneto. If anything, it's the Magneto player who is getting mad at himself for either throwing his ult into the wall or for taking approximately 24 days to reload. Seriously, can we get some expedited shipping on these hands to reload his magic? Mantis. We're looking at a solid 2 out of 10 on the Rageometer. I only get upset whenever I get slept. I swear, some of you Mantis players just sit back and shoot threes with your bottle of NyQuil. I'll be minding my own business and just start feeling sleepy walking out of spawn. Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Girth Richards sits at a solid 4 out of 10 on the Rage scale. He's kind of annoying whenever he's just bouncing around gaining 40,000 shields, but with Phoenix being as strong as she is, he kind of just explodes these days. That being said, he still has the best sounding alt voice line in the game. Moon Knight. Now we're talking. 7 out of 11. Dude will have 36 ults a game, but 2 final hits. Is his schizophrenia getting to him? Is he overdosing on ketamine? You'll never tell. And neither will his other personalities. But if you hit me with your onk again, I will send you directly to the hospital. I'm lying. Because let's be real, it'll be me who will be needing a doctor. Namor. 5 fishes out of 10. The only time I get angry with Namor is when I forget that his ult stops movement abilities. Because dear God, why does it do that? And I guess it's also kind of annoying whenever he goes into his little bubble form, but he's already dealing with losing Sue to Mr. Fantastic. So I kind of gotta throw him a bone here, you know? Peni Parker. 31 out of 45. Yeah, I don't really like fighting this character. When on the enemy team, her nests never get shot at. She webs me out of every single ult. The enemy Peni isn't even in a mech. She's piloting a Jaeger from Pacific Rim, all the while blasting the main theme. But the second she's locked in on my team, she dons her Halloween cardboard mech. Instead of shooting webs, she's rocking with the silly string. Phoenix, 2 out of 10. Really doesn't upset me whenever I have to play against a good Phoenix. Now for you Rocket mains, 1 billion rage bucks. Y'all ain't even enjoying your own amplifier. You'll be minding your own business, setting up a nice little corner for your rat respawn beacon, only for the enemy Phoenix to be on a 5-kill kill streak, and you better believe she's ripping that Predator missile. Psylocke. Honestly, the more I play against a really good Psylocke, the angrier I get. Not because the character is broken or because she's not fun to fight, but because it's hard. I will not elaborate. And I swear, you support players, did you know that if you make eye contact with your other support and play patty cake, you can heal through Psylocke ult? I swear, if I had $1 for the amount of times I've seen a Psylocke dive in, ult my supports, just for me, the solo tank, to jump in with y'all to help soak up some of that damage, only then to watch you burn any and all escape abilities, and then let me die alone to a screaming Japanese lady who is oddly obsessed with demons. Yeah, if I had $1, I'd be able to buy back all the ranked games Jacob has sold. Rocket. I'm still bitter that they nerfed his healing output. Little known fact, if the enemy team has 2 tanks and 2 healers, and one of those healers is a rocket, have your entire team just beat the crap out of the weakest tank and watch their team fall apart. Rocket can put out some crazy healing numbers, but he cannot save you. That being said, it's always entertaining to die, and then the camera cuts to my Rocket who has tucked himself into a wall, just spamming right click. Side note, if you ever want to be respawned by the Rocket beacon, just say out loud, "I'm gonna die," and then swap characters. Because Rocket is always there to make sure you die twice for wasting his time. 3 out of 10. Scarlet Witch. I don't think there's a character that makes me feel any more self-hatred. If I die to a Scarlet Witch, I take psychological damage, IRL. Every time I die to her ult, I stare at my camera like I'm in the office. Like, she doesn't make me angry, and Scarlet Witch players are somehow some of the least toxic people in this game, so I can't even go off that. 0 out of 10 rage bait, 100 out of 10 self-hate. Spider-Man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we made it. Welcome to the part of the video. This is it. This is the peak of rage bait. Go ahead and take your crown and take your seat upon your golden throne. I don't know what's wrong with you Spider-Man players. Like, why are you always so angry? Why do you take that anger out on us? You're playing possibly the most fun character in the game, yet still chose to be mad. You'll press 45 buttons just to do less damage than a Hela with 2 headshots. And like clockwork, every time I've had a bad day, here comes Spider-Man swinging in from the next dimension to grab me and pull me off the map. And when you're on my team, you started playing so bad, the surrender button starts calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. They better make Green Goblin a support, and I want him exclusively to counter you. Infinite out of 10. Squirrel Girl. 14.8 billion on the rageometer. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've been killed by a squirrel and thought, man, she sure is positioning well and outplaying me at every turn. Because 90% of the time, I simply forgot you were even on the enemy team. Yeah, thanks for charging my support ults. Really helps me continue my campaign of pressing W into your backline. Also, I don't have any proof of this, but I swear every Cloak and Dagger player, when they're forced to DPS, they lock in Squirrel Girl. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, I'm just saying, I'm noticing a pattern. Star-Lord. The only thing that's somewhat annoying about Star-Lord is his stupid little spin move he does. You'll watch him mag dump his pistols into the side of a wall, flip, unload into the cart, then slam his face on his E and somehow manages to secure a kill. Then watch him fly to the skybox and ult. You go to block it, surprise, surprise, they had a rocket the whole time. Apparently he can teleport, gonna have to look into that later. And would you look at that? Your entire team is dead. 5 out of 10 because he's got that sick Spotify playlist. Storm. To be honest, I wish more people played Storm. Like, unless you're pulling off the Jeff Nato combo every 2 minutes, I'm chilling. Getting killed by a Storm never really feels bad. Like, oh no, I was killed by the slowest moving flyer in the game. Whatever will I do? 1 out of 10 simply because if they decide to have a Jeff, congrats, you will be sent back to spawn. The Punisher. I'm gonna have to go like a 5 out of 10. Enemy Punishers really don't make me upset, but good lord, the second my teammate hops on his turret, he loses all object permanence. Dude has been getting his cheeks clapped by the Spider-Man that's been sitting right behind him, but your boy Franklin still refuses to turn around. He gets knocked down to 100 HP and says, yeah, let me tell you something. This is a great time to ult. But the enemy Punisher, he makes sure to put on his plot armor, and we both know I hit you with that full charge mag ult. Why and how are you still alive? The Thing. Do people get angry at the Thing? Except like Spider-Man and Black Panther players, which I mean, like, do we care? Is this our first negative rage bait character? I swear, Thing players just run around and protect their backline, and occasionally knock a flyer out of the sky. Because of course he can. He's from New York. -3 out of 10 for rage bait. Thor. I truly believe a good Thor is actually miserable to play against. Picture this. You're playing tank, making a little space here and there, and then suddenly a 7-foot-tall world's strongest man contestant pops in and shoves you back 5 feet, like every 2 seconds. It's not necessarily life-threatening, but it's just kind of annoying. And then your girlfriend can see that you're upset, but not trying to make a scene, so then she comes up and goes to tell this dude to back off, and then he just turns to her. Yeah, I would say I've been rage baited by a Thor once or twice in my time. 12 out of 10. Ultron. Look, I'm sorry, but I've been rage baited by my own Ultron more times than I can count. You know how sad it feels to play solo tank and watch your 5 insta-lock DPS fight over who has to go support, only for them to choose Mantis and Ultron? Then you come out the gate, you see the enemy team has an Ultron as well, but they also have a Luna and Loki. Like, guys, I appreciate you for swapping around to heal, but I feel like the poor homeless kid looking in the window of your stereotypical happy family at Thanksgiving. Like, please, give me something. 7 out of 10. Venom. I've met like 2 Venoms that were toxic. Most just politely throw it back on point and vibe. That being said, I'ma still have to give you a 6 out of 10. Because every time I almost kill you, no I didn't, you actually have 4 million shields. And I get to watch those glorious cheeks fly away from me into the sunset as you go 24-0. Winter Soldier. You guys remember season 0 of Rivals, right? You know how many agains I've heard? Dude is shooting cannonballs and pulling me through time and space just to uppercut me like prime George Foreman. Like, brother, where was this Bucky in the MCU? Can you imagine how many agains he would get going against Thanos and his army? 69 out of 20 for the rage bait scale. Because some of those pulls are just straight up ridiculous. Wolverine. Wolverine players are a failed experiment, a flaw in a nearly perfect world. All national tragedies can be traced back to a Wolverine main. I don't feel anger towards you Wolverines any longer. I have ascended. I now understand why humanity hated those god-dang muties. It's because they have that feral, flea-loving, furry Wolverine, that walking Napoleon complex. That filthy skin regenerator. If you were on fire, I wouldn't even piss on you to put you out. Your downfall is imminent, for I have constructed a shrine to Guangguang. 1,000 Luna buffs, but in return, 17 Wolverine nerfs. I pray that this message of warning finds you before I do.